One Denver, 168 just took place this past weekend in Denver, Colorado, in the United States of America, in the Western Hemisphere. One championship, second time coming over to the Western Hemisphere and hosting an event, and it went absolutely amazing. Top to bottom, the card went flawlessly. Phenomenal performances across the board. Great performances, great fights, great just overall event. The energy, everything was amazing. Last year, One Championship held their event in Denver as well. However, it was at a smaller venue up outside of the city of Denver itself. This time, One Denver was held at the Ball Arena, where the Denver Nuggets play, where the Colorado Avalanche play, a large 20,000 seat arena. Now, here's what I want to talk about. They didn't quite sell out the arena, but I gotta give them credit for a company and just a promotion as a whole that does not have events in the West, that does not heavily promote in the West, that only debuts on Amazon Prime. I gotta say, looking at how the tickets were panning out over the past couple of weeks, I was a little bit worried about how the nosebleeds, the upper deck, the third level of the stadium was going to look. I was there. I was able to get to Denver and watch these fights live. I sat in a great seat, had a great view of the arena, had a great view of the cage, had a great view of the fights and everybody in and around the fights. It was absolutely phenomenal. The energy was through the roof. It was unlike anything I'd ever felt before. Even in the UFC, I gotta say, the 4-ounce Muay Thai gloves really carry this event forward and carry One Championship forward. And I think, and I'm going to talk about this more and more as this channel grows and continues, but the 4-ounce Muay Thai is what the casual, stereotypical, blood and guts American fan wants to see. They don't like the MMA, the ground game. They like to just see two dudes go in there, sling it out, blood and guts everywhere. That's what they want to see, and this is what carried this event forward. There were so many great Muay Thai matches that were just balls to the wall, fantastic fights, just slanging and banging. It was really fantastic. But back to the tickets. I was looking around and there were a couple empty seats. I will say that. They did not sell out, which is disappointing. But for a 20,000 seater, and then considering that almost an entire couple of sections are taken up by the stage that One Championship has, where the fighters come out from the side and then walk down to the cage, straight to the cage, have the stage. It's almost like a WWE walkout, a WrestleMania walkout. Think of that, picture that kind of thing. How Bellator and PFL do it, where they come out and walk through the middle, not just throughout the aisle from as if UFC was doing it, where they just come out through the tunnel. They put on a big show, a big display. They put out these big screens. It was fantastic. So let's take away, 3, 4, 5,000 seats. So they sold, plus the seats that are on the ground, which is 2,000, 3,000. So you kind of even that out. I would say of the 22,000, 21,000 capacity, they probably easily had 17,500 to 18,000 people there, which is phenomenal because the last venue they were at held about 6,000 capacity and they sold that out and it was completely full. But this was 17,000 to 18,000 and it was absolutely fantastic. The crowd, the energy, everybody wanted to be there. Everybody knew what they were coming to see. It was absolutely fantastic. There were so many people that flew in from out of town that we talked to, that I met. It was fun, fantastic. Great stuff from across the board. I gotta say, One Championship, they know how to put on an event. It was really good. They chose a great venue. They definitely need to push for bigger venues in the future. I cannot say that enough. Now, let's get into the fights. First up was Sean Climaco versus Johan Estupiñán. Great fight. These guys, listen, it was honestly not the most technical Muay Thai striking bout. I thought they were kickboxers, but they came in there and they had a Muay Thai fight. Really fun. They were just slinging it out. Johan was just pushing forward. He got clipped a couple of times, but overall, this was just Johan Estupiñán just showcase bout. He looked fantastic. Nothing more to say about this fight. Just got the crowd absolutely riled up from the get-go. It was fantastic. Next up, Johan Ghazali, who I spoke about before this fight. 17 years old, American and Malaysian fighter. He has an absolutely crazy style where he just comes at you with everything. He absolutely goes balls to the wall from the get-go, goes 110% from the moment the bell rings. Josue Cruz really did not have anything for him. He popped him with a couple of jabs, a couple of straights down the middle because Johan was getting a little wild. This is one of his things that he has to work on as he gets throughout his career. But he flatlined the guy. It was absolutely beautiful. Floored the guy. Great, fantastic finish. Good performance from Johan Ghazali. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. He's already looking really impressive in his career so far. He's 17 years old. He's not fighting the best competition, but he looks really good so far. Good for him. Got the win. Got the bonus. It was fantastic. Next up, Adrian Lee had to show out for the American crowd, but in all honesty, he ran over this guy. I don't know who this guy was. I don't know what this guy was doing in here. He had absolutely nothing for Adrian. Adrian literally just went over there, landed a couple strikes, and then Nicholas Cornejo just shot a takedown immediately, even though that is literally what Adrian Lee wants to do in the fight. How do you not know that? I don't know what was going on, who this guy was. Kind of just a bum. Adrian ran him over. He's 18 years old. Looked really impressive. He's got a heavy pressure style on the feet. Gets a little crazy on the feet like Christian Lee, his older brother, but his grappling is really dominant. The next fight was Hiroyuki Tetsuka versus Issei Fitikifu. Not a great fight. It was a unanimous decision. Fun grappling at times, I will give them that. But overall, nothing super impressive. They both just showed up for a fun grappling matchup. Nothing crazy to write home about in terms of the damaging moments of the fight, crazy moments of the fight, but the grappling was just fun. They got a little scrappy on the feet, but nothing crazy, nothing big punches. Nobody really got hurt, damaged big time in this fight. So, nothing to write home about, but just an overall fun MMA matchup. Good, solid scrambling. Two solid fighters. Nothing much to say more about it. Next up was Elise Anderson, the American, taking on Victoria Souza. Victoria Souza was able to get the unanimous decision victory. Elise Anderson just didn't have anything for her in terms of the strength battle. They had some grappling exchanges where each of them had a couple of submissions locked up. The striking on the feet was terrible. It just wasn't a great showcase. They wanted to get Elise Anderson a win here for the Americans, but just didn't have it. Didn't have the strength to overcome Victoria Souza, who's a little smaller, stockier, kind of just had the mom strength in her. I don't know what to say about this one. Not really a great fight either, but just a fun one to root for the Americans. And now on to the fun fight of the night was John Lineker beating Asa Tenpao in the second round via TKO. This one was really interesting heading into it. Two guys that are kind of in their mid to late 30s. Asa Tenpao, the American, John Lineker, popular MMA fighter coming over from the UFC into one, fighting in a Muay Thai fight. Listen, he has got power, and Asa Tenpao could not handle it. It was a great scrap. John Lineker did what he always does, comes forward with the big meaty hooks, with the big pressure forward fighting. Listen, Asa, all he had to do was stay at range, teep kick, throw some kicks to the head, throw some spinning elbows when John Lineker gets over swinging, and just throw his jab out there. Keep at range. He could not. John Lineker came in swinging hard and heavy. Asa Tenpao was able to counter at times, landed a beautiful spinning elbow, attempted another spinning elbow, was throwing step-in elbows, beautiful elbows, looked really great. Kept the kicks up too as well, but John Lineker was just able to get to him at times, just got to him at the perfect times. The one shot that really hurt Asa at one point was a shot that honestly looked like nothing. It was just a looping kind of left hook as Asa was stepping out. It looked like John Lineker barely threw any power behind it, but yet it stumbled him, it got him hurt, and then John Lineker was able to get in there, pressure him, hurt him really bad. The end of the round came, and then in the second round, he just opened up and absolutely rained fire on Asa Tempau. Asa was swinging till the end, you got to give him credit, but ultimately just floored him, put him face down, ass up. Really, really solid performance. Great fight from both guys. Really, really impressed by Asa's attempts at the end to just give it his all. That is the Muay Thai way. These guys never give up, never give in. Really, really impressive performance from John Lineker. Put him away. I don't expect to see him fight in Muay Thai anymore. Maybe he will. Maybe just fun fights because he doesn't want to grapple. He's getting older. He just wants to swing it out. More power to him. He called out Super Lek and Rod Tang in his post-fight. I don't know what they're going to give him. Probably just some fun fights because he's a big name. We'll see what happens. Anyway, next up, Aung La N Song fighting out of Kill Cliff. Took on Shamil Erdogan, however you pronounce it. This guy, listen, I knew he was solid coming in. I'd only seen him fight one time other than this fight before this. But the way that he was just able to assert himself in every level of MMA, he was able to completely bombard and outstrike a aging Aung La N Song. His chin not quite there anymore. He can take the shots. He wasn't put out by Shamil. But listen, it's time for Aung La, I think, to retire. Shamil was able to outstrike him, get in on the takedowns, smother him in the grappling, and Aung La just had nothing for him. He was just getting beat from pillar to post in every possible fashion and every possible facet of the MMA game. It was really, really not a great performance. Excited that I got to see Aung La fight in America one more time, but I think the guy needs to retire. He just doesn't have the physicality anymore. He doesn't have the physical ability. The chin isn't there anymore for him. Shamil was able to just put an absolute beating on him. Shamil, listen, I think this is the next guy to take on Malakin. They don't have a lot of contenders for Malakin in the middleweight, light heavyweight, or heavyweight division. Shamil could challenge him at multiple divisions. This was a light heavyweight bout. They weighed in about 220 pounds. Shamil looked really, really impressive. I got to give him credit. I think he's either 10-0 or 15-0. The guy looks really, really good. He's got good, solid striking, just average, basic striking that can get the job done, and he's got really heavy grappling. Is the guy on steroids? I don't know. Probably is. Almost everybody is in one championship. I got to be honest. You can't deny that. But Shamil looked really, really impressive. Showed out for the crowd. Not a super impressive, crazy, bombastic Muay Thai performance, but the guy's good. The guy's probably going to be next for the belt. Might have to get another couple of fights in there. We'll see what happens. Good for him. Shamil got the win. Second round TKO over Aung La. Aung La, just retire, man. Get into coaching. Do your thing. Go be with your family, whatever. We don't need to see you take these beatings over and over again. Anyway, on to the co-main event, which was the two legends, Liam Harrison, the Hitman, taking on Seksan from Thailand. Seksan, wow. He just absolutely went in there and put on a masterclass over Liam Harrison. Liam Harrison, the legend himself, has taken on some of the best Muay Thai fighters from across the globe for the past 10, 15 years. Beat and fought many, many guys in his era of fighting. Listen, his body just doesn't have what it takes to hang in there with some of the best guys in the world anymore, and this fight proved it. Liam Harrison, I love his fight style. He's a gritty, nasty fighter. He's got some of the best hands in the Muay Thai game coming out of England. Seksan just had the better overall ability, had some of the better elbows, the better straight punches that got to Liam before Liam was able to get to him. But my God, the leg kicks that were on display, you could hear them echoing throughout the arena. Every time one of them landed or checked the kicks, it was absolutely brutal to watch. Some of the fights earlier in the night were fun Muay Thai slanging and banging fights, but these guys, you could tell, were slanging and banging with the best technique in the world. Some of the highest level Muay Thai fighters in the world right now. Absolutely beautiful performance from both of them. Absolutely violent, nasty, vicious fight from the both of them. Liam Harrison got hit with a couple of elbows, split his nose open. It was absolutely brutal. He hung in there tough, and when he got hit and floored and put down on his ass, he got up and came back with an absolutely furious vengeance. But Sexton was able to weather the storm, took a couple of big shots, and finally put Liam Harrison down in the second round. Listen, Liam Harrison retired after the fight. Did not want to make a big show of it. Wanted to give Sexton his flowers, let him win. Sexton, great performance on the mic afterwards through the translator. I gotta say, props to the translator. One of the best, most animated, greatest translation performances of all time here. Just brought the energy through the roof, brought the energy to the crowd from the fighters. It was absolutely fantastic. Liam Harrison, props to you, my man. Great fight to go out. Went out on his shield in the way that he would want. It was fantastic. Now, as for Sexton, what would he like to see next? I think we can move this guy up to bigger and better fights. Some of the bigger names in these divisions. I'm excited to see what he does next. Liam Harrison, again, props to you, my man. Great fight. These guys put on a show for all the fans to see, and I cannot applaud them enough for that. The main event, Jonathan Haggerty versus Superlek. One of the most anticipated Muay Thai fights heading into this. Superlek coming in off a tear. This guy's looking great. Jonathan Haggerty looking really good, better than he ever has, winning multiple belts at bantamweight, looking so good in these fights leading into this fight. I thought this was going to be, if not a finish in the later rounds, a decision victory where the guys both went through a blood and guts war, both beat up, both torn up, maybe a split decision, closer than ever. Boy, were we all shocked and were we all wrong. Superlek was able to withstand the slight flurries, the small flurries from Jonathan Haggerty in the first round. Big, strong flurries coming on, big, strong leg kicks coming out from Jonathan Haggerty. Jonathan Haggerty looked really just off his rocker. He looked so energized through the roof, and Superlek looked calm, cool, and collected in the first couple of minutes of the fight. Not minutes. I mean, we're talking seconds. I'm envisioning this fight the way that I would have expected it to go. Still, to this moment, I cannot fathom what just happened in this fight. Jonathan Haggerty came crashing in like he had been. He kind of threw a couple of flurries, rushed in, boom, kind of threw a leg kick. He came crashing in with some big, heavy-handed strikes, and then a leg kick. Superlek met him with a beautiful step-in elbow. I will show you right now. It was unbelievable. Watch this. Boom. Just step in. Beautiful. Clipped him right behind the ear and put him out. Knocked his equilibrium out of whack. I don't know what to say. Even to this moment, I can't believe what happened. It's almost like it's not even real. Barely even a minute into the fight, Superlek floors Jonathan Haggerty, puts him down, knocks his equilibrium so out of whack that he can't even get back up. My God. Jonathan Haggerty, props to the man, took the loss on the chin like a man, but Superlek, good grief. This guy has beaten some of the best guys in the world, in his generation, in the previous generation, in the next generation. This guy might be the best Muay Thai fighter of all time. I mean, is he? I don't know. You guys got to tell me. Somebody tell me where I'm wrong here. That was one of the most absolutely flawless performances of all time. I don't even think he could believe what happened. He knew what he was landing. He knew what he was throwing, but he did not know what the heck was going to happen after that strike landed. Absolutely beautiful elbow right behind the ear. Put Jonathan Haggerty out. My God, what an absolutely amazing performance from Superlek. One of the greatest performances of all time. One of the most clean performances. Weathered the storm, avoided, kept his head on a swivel. checked the kicks when he needed to, and then just blasted Jonathan when he came in. Read it perfectly. Wow. He barely even had to set it up. It just happened. My God. One of the most shocking performances I've ever seen. Anyway, here were the $50,000 bonuses. Mitch Chilson with his $50,000. Yep, Mitch Chilson. A little bit cringe, but it's funny. It is what it is. Johan Estupian with his performance. Absolutely floored. Klimico. Johan Gosli, young kid. Floored his opponent. Great performance. That guy has got more money than he knows what to do with. Adrian Lee, also only 18 years old. Looked fantastic in his performance. Very, very clean. Very, very dominant. Was his opponent kind of a pushover? Yeah, maybe so. But Adrian Lee, also young, has more money than he knows what to do with now. $50,000, well deserved. John Lineker knocked out Asa Tempau. Great performance. $50,000 for him. Just the heaviest handed motherfucker at bantamweight you could ever imagine. Sexon himself, the legend, taking out Liam Badko. The guy. Listen, Sexon, he's getting up there in age, but this guy has still got it. Looked really, really good. Put on an absolutely awesome performance against Liam Harrison. Both put out an absolute great performance. Put their hearts on their shields. Put their lives on the line for the fans, and we appreciate that. And then finally, Superlek with the flawless performance of the night to cap it off. Flawless victory. Elbow, step in, right over the top, right behind the ear. Put Jonathan Haggerty down and away. Great performance. 168 Denver. I'm excited for 169 in Atlanta. Big time fights on that fight card. More championship fights on that one. Looking forward to that one. Great performance from all these guys here. Great performance from everybody. Great showing from one championship. The crowd was awesome. The fighters were awesome. The fights panned out exactly how we needed them to. Put on a show. Put Muay Thai with 4-ounce gloves on the map in America. Big time crowd. It was amazing. Great, great stuff from one championship. Get back in America. We need you here. Let's get the brand growing. Let's get them out of this we're losing money kind of thing. We got to get these guys going. They put on a great performance, great show, everything, great production, awesome, awesome stuff. I will see you in Atlanta. One championship.